Surviving Reality contains explicit content full of snark and sarcasm that may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Surviving Reality.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Carly, and this is the Traitors Season 4, Episode 10.
Oh boy.
Do you know the enemy?
Know your enemy. Yes.
Look, this might be a little rough. We ran downstairs right after watching to start recording, so it's a little past my bedtime.
That also means that there's not a bracketology update because the boards didn't update yet, guys, so you'll just have to stay tuned. Set those lineups for next week. You don't want to forget because it's coming up on, we're in the final stretch here. Last day in the castle, pretty much. Next week, that's what's going on.
I can't believe it.
It's already upon us.
Although, this episode, I feel like it broke my brain. I really don't know if I can handle that many more episodes with this group.
We were so close. We just had it. We were dialed in for it, but then I second guessed the group. That's what it came down to. Because I said, this is usually...
That's the second week in a row you did that.
Is it? Is it the second time that I've done that?
I'm just bringing that up. Yeah. I don't remember exactly who it was that when the last time we set our bracket, I had them in a different spot. And then,
it was Dorinda.
Was it Dorinda?
Dorinda was for the murder. Yeah, because I don't think any of our 0 point people left last week. We had Tara and Johnny at the bottom last week, so that was not working out.
Maybe next time we have to have our own brackets.
Oh, okay.
Then we could get really competitive.
That could be interesting. Yeah, that might be a house divided then. I guess we'd have to see.
I don't know. I would say based on the picks that I've been suggesting that haven't made it to the final bracket that...
Excuse me.
Maybe I have a little advantage.
Excuse me. We'll talk about, I don't want to give away any spoilers, but we did have a certain name that we dropped where I said maybe they're like right on the edge. Not 0 points, but the lowest point. And then you said, no, move them up. So we moved them up this week.
Oh, stop. Let's get into it.
Okay.
It's breakfast.
Yeah.
And we were left last week in the turret wondering if who Eric was going to murder. Kristen's name was on the table. Rob was kind of trying to dissuade him from going ahead and doing that, which was very unlike Rob.
Yeah, it seemed like Rob would just lean into that and just say, yeah, go for it.
Mm-hmm.
And use that to his advantage, much like he just did with Candace. So why wouldn't he do that? And same thing with Lisa, too, to an extent.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like he has a soft spot for Eric. We kind of learned that a little bit more in this episode.
Yeah, it looks like it.
But the first two people in at breakfast are Maura and Rob. And Maura is just like too distracted watching Rob eat strawberries to really start to wonder if maybe she's here sitting with a traitor.
No, she trusts Rob. She trusts him completely. She trusts him with her life, basically, at this point, is essentially what's going on here.
Now, you have a theory about Rob in this episode because
I do.
Right off the bat, he sounds unwell, right? He sounds like he's a little sick.
A little stuffy. Yeah, he's talking about, heavy is the head that wears the crown. And, it's just... It's,
the stress, the pressure it's getting to him.
It's draining. It's emotionally draining. And it's just taxing on him right now, where it's just so hard playing as a traitor and lying to all these people and keeping all of these, strategies going in my mind. And it's just like, maybe that wore him down a little bit. And then he was susceptible to a little stuffy nose, a little cold that was creeping in here. But he sounds a little stuffy. So was he gross enough to break the hotness spell on the castle?
I feel like maybe that's what happened.
It opened people's eyes where there was just, for the first time in this entire competition, you're having that moment where it's like, ugh. Like, that's your reaction to Rob saying something now? That seems odd. Like, so if Rob's talking about the subconscious effects of things, that's one of the subconscious effects of things, too.
I don't think it helped him this time.
It's just not being naturally drawn to this guy anymore.
All right, so then Eric has to walk in, but they've paired him up with Mark. And so he's like super nervous to have to stand at the door with Mark because Mark's like kind of looking at him a little bit too.
Well, yeah, Mark was very close with Kristen. And so Kristen was very adamant about if she does not return to the game, all eyes need to go to Eric.
Okay, that should have been our big clue as to who they murdered.
Of bringing...
That Eric was so worried to walk in with Mark.
Yeah, like that they're bringing Eric in with Mark.
Yeah.
Well, that was going to be, how it was pitched too, of like, oh, we'll be able to take up for you though. And it's just, are you going to convince Kristen? You're going to change her mind, or are you going to change Mark's mind? Like, we'll back you up though, probably.
So it comes down to Natalie and Kristen being the last two who haven't walked in yet. And the group seems pretty sure that Natalie's going to be the one that's murdered.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? I think they're kind of underestimating the strategy behind Kristen's game.
I think Kristen was becoming a threat because she was actively looking for people that she was suspicious of. So she would be changing around as far as like she's always analyzing who it is,
taking
like,
in new information,
and she's open to that. Yeah, taking in new information, not being set in your ways on stuff, not being easily persuadable either. You can't be swayed. You get set in what you think, and then you go. So Kristen and Natalie were very similar in those ways too, though. So that's why it's not really so. Well, no, I mean, like when they get set on something, then they're like locked in on it.
I think that Natalie plays very emotionally.
Yes.
And I mean, we saw that when she was going at Tara. Was that the last round table?
It was, yeah, it's usually an emotional response to, where it's you threw me for a loop, and so then I'm voting for you now.
Yeah. I don't feel like Kristen was like that.
No.
That was a big difference between the two of them.
But then that's scary too, because then Kristen's using logic and then getting set in on things like that too. So I think that's the difference too, is you have like emotional players and you have strategic players.
Yeah.
So that's kind of been the divide that we've seen too.
I'm just saying, I think that getting rid of Kristen was a good idea.
Yeah, I mean,
I could see how it really came down to Kristen and Natalie, and like ideally, they really needed both of them to go.
They needed both
at the same time.
Yeah, but you can't do that. So I could see where Rob saw more value in keeping Natalie because he had just won her over with the dagger reveal, not the one that Team Bang Rob is really rooting for here.
It's not the one that Natalie wanted either.
Not the one that Natalie was going for. But the dagger reveal at the table, I think that earned some points with Natalie. I think Natalie still felt bad that she had steered them towards Steven as a group. And so she was trying to like win favor back with them. So I think Rob thought that he had Natalie in his pocket a little bit further than she actually was.
Yeah. I kind of feel like that's why he didn't insist that they they choose a different person for murder.
Right. Yeah. And then it just so happens that, well, if we go for Kristen, that heat's probably going to come back to you, Eric, even though we didn't really see any repercussions from that. Like, spoiler alert for this episode. Did not see. Sometimes it takes a day or two for the suspicions to finally click for people at this stage in the game, because we have a lot of the, slower players who are left here. Not really with it. Not really dialed in.
Well, and the other problem is that everybody is questioning their own gut feelings because they've been so bad at this so far.
Oh, so bad.
That, if you're starting to suspect somebody, should you suspect them? Or
I need someone to tell me if I'm on the right track.
Yeah, they're a mess at this point.
Well, you got to think, Tara and Johnny, they're used to like coaching and feedback and that sort of dynamic here as well. And it's like,
true.
You don't have that. So they're kind of relying on each other.
Yeah, they're like, are we good at this?
Are we doing, why are we still here? We're like so far in, but like, we're not good at this. Are we good at this?
I'm not going to lie. I enjoy that they're still here because it is like a certain level of comedic relief.
To an
Just
extent.
having two people who trust each other enough to like really earnestly bounce ideas off of one another and be so wrong.
So far it's been wrong. Because, now we have Tara who's pulling Natalie aside where something happened. Something was in the air today where Tara woke up and she's like, it's not Natalie. Natalie's a faithful. And Natalie woke up, slept on it too. And it was like right as the Jack in the Box was popping up. And she was like, why am I not the one being murdered?
Oh, she was so sure
she was
that
offended.
She was going home.
Well, she was upset. She took it personally. Am I not a threat in the game to the traitors? Why am I still here?
Yeah, that's what she was thinking.
She was very upset.
And then it finally clicked for her. Well, but what if somebody's protecting me? It's not that they don't think I'm a threat. They obviously think that I'm good at this game.
I'm such a great gamer in this game.
But it has to be that I've befriended a traitor. So when Tara approaches Natalie in the morning and is like, hey, I need to bounce something off of you. So I don't think you're the traitor anymore. I have a new theory. I think it's Rob.
And then Natalie's like, you know what? That makes sense for my theory too of I have befriended Rob very early in the game. He could be protecting me in the turret. That's the reason why I'm still here. That's why I'm not getting murdered, you guys.
Justice for Tara and Johnny in this episode. Because let me tell you, I was convinced they are really dumb faithfuls and they're just going to play this game to the end in the worst way possible. They're going to be wrong the whole way through.
They're going to crash and burn right over the finish line. Yeah, it's just...
in the final hour here, improvements.
Oh, okay. To an extent. Because, like, then you see it play out where then it's like, okay, running the numbers really quickly because Natalie's the strategic thinker here. You can't have Tara left to her own devices for that stuff. So if we're tallying up the votes, Rob has the dagger. We all know that Rob has the dagger. So that's 2 votes right there. And then suspicion is swirling in the rest of the house right now over Natalie because people are like, well, she was up for murder. You would think that she would be the one who got murdered. There was other suspicions that were flying around from other days and other events that have taken place too. So people are basically gearing it up where it's either Natalie or now it's Rob, I guess, because between Natalie, Tara, Johnny, because Tara and Johnny are a bonded pair, they vote as a dagger unit themselves now for the 2 votes there. So they have now combined where it's like, okay, we need to flip some people in the middle. Maybe let's talk to Maura. She's usually very dialed in with Rob, but like maybe we can get a gauge for like Maura and Eric and Mark and see where they're at of like who's in the middle right now.
I really thought going to Maura was a dumb decision.
You know she's going to take that straight back to Rob. And you know that she's not going to be open and accepting to that information.
She just seems like she's been very defensive the entire game about taking in any information from anyone else.
She doesn't like hearing things that conflicts with her already established opinions.
Exactly.
She's not open and receptive to that.
She really, to me, I would have felt like is the least receptive to hearing new ideas.
Oh, yeah. So to start with her, it was like, that's a stretch. Yeah. But then also, Maura's in the same position where she's like, why am I still here? I'm not good at this game either. So you think maybe Tara would be able to like, you know, speak to that side of her and reason with that and be like, look, this is why. It's making sense now,
Doesn't
right?
it make a little bit more sense of why you and Natalie are here?
You gotta push through. You're gonna feel like a little discomfort and a little pain there. But that's an idea that's forming in your brain if you let it happen. If you focus in on it.
I think all the hats have been cutting the circulation off to her brain.
The squeezing and it's squishing and it's just, there's just so much resistance to the formulation of a new thought. It's not happening.
She's really not buying it. No. She's not into it.
No.
So
you can take that theory down the road. I'm actually going to go tell Rob right now immediately that his name's floating around because it's looking like it's shaping up to be somehow Rob versus Natalie for the roundtable discussion. Those are the camps that are forming right now.
Well, okay, but also Eric's name does get brought
Eric's
up
name comes up.
because I think it was in the kitchen.
Mark.
We had Mark and Rob.
Mark.
And Mark keeps pointing out that Eric's being like very quiet. And there's something weird about that. I just feel like there's some change in his demeanor. And Rob tries to direct him back to Natalie again.
I don't understand how Mark, your closest friend and ally in this game, was Kristen, and she was murdered. The last thing she said to you was, if I am murdered, look at Eric.
Well, I think that's what he's trying to do here.
But
no. You can only do it so much. Like there has to be a certain level of, again, reception to what you're saying from other people where you're playing the game alone.
Okay, he didn't bring that up to the rest of the group. He didn't share that information. I would also find it suspicious that Rob wasn't sharing that information either. So I don't know if that's something that they just
maybe they
kept
talked to
between
each
them.
other about it, and Rob was like, "Look, if we start telling people that, like, that could be bad for us."
Right.
So let's just keep quiet about it.
But then,
we can sit and observe.
You've been close with Eric.
We've been close with Eric, and then maybe we could get murdered. So let's just sit back and keep that information in our back pockets as we vote at the next few round tables, rather than being loud about it.
Well, it would be better to raise an accusation against somebody who is a traitor, because then they won't murder you, because then that would be oppositional to the theory of like the suspicion that's around that, right? Of like, if you went after somebody who you claim is a traitor and then you get murdered, it looks like you accused a traitor and they're trying to get you out of the game.
It doesn't matter for right now.
Doesn't matter.
Because, again, Rob is doing the best to try to get him to look at Natalie again, which I'm really confused about how, up until this point, Rob has not cared at all about his alliance with the other traitors.
No. Yeah, it's weird,
as soon
this
as
loyalty
someone
now
has had, like, suspicion on them, he's been very quick to move away from them.
Okay, but like, I think this is different though, because those were people that he had been assigned. Eric is someone that he has picked to be a traitor. He chose him.
Well, and they've been playing the game together pretty much the whole time, right? At least
as faithfuls, at the time when Eric thought that Rob was a faithful.
That'd be a little harder. Like, whereas it would have been weirder to take up for like Candace and Lisa.
Yes.
When you're not really that close to them.
Right. Yeah.
So
it wouldn't have made as much sense. It does make sense for him to protect Eric because they have had that alliance the entire time. So it does make sense.
So they get in the car to go to the challenge. And right away, Maura's in the car with Mark and Rob and Eric. So the two traitors and Mark. And tells them that Natalie is saying Rob's name.
Yeah.
Which I also thought was weird because Tara was there the whole time too. But it's like Tara's like a non-entity. Like she doesn't matter.
I don't know. Yeah, like it seemed like it was all sourced with, it was Natalie.
Yeah.
Natalie was really pushing your name. Tara was in on that conversation too. Is she just like forgettable at that point? Like the interactions that are happening here, she's not really contributing much.
I think there are a lot of people who have decided that Tara is a faithful who's just really bad at this game, but they don't think that she's a traitor.
Okay. Or
so
like a maybe.
Maybe that felt like irrelevant information.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought that was odd because it was the two of them coming to her, and then she led completely with it being all Natalie's idea.
Yeah, I think it's because they trust Natalie. Natalie was kind of part of that alliance.
So it's like she's betraying our alliance.
Not like well, yeah, maybe. I guess.
Whereas like
extent.
Tara was on the outside.
Tara wasn't really. We didn't really accept information from Tara anyway because we don't really trust her. Mm-hmm. But we do trust Natalie to an extent, and so Natalie's throwing your name around now. That's weird.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, I get it. To come out of, she was up for murder last night. Now she walks in this morning and she's all over Rob. Like, that's weird to see somebody shift so hard like that based off of, oh, I was up for murder and I wasn't murdered. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking it's Rob. Like, that's weird to kind of just have that out of nowhere for that group. That's how they're painting this, right? Is Maura saying there was no fact-based anything about it. It was just a hunch. It's Natalie's opinion, and that's what she's going with.
Yeah, I think you're going to have to go on hunches at this point.
At this point, there's not much else.
Yeah, you're getting to the end of the game. Whatever.
Yeah.
So
they go to the mission.
They don't have their hunches aren't very good.
The hunches aren't good at either. Yeah, but yeah.
This is a carousel mission.
Okay.
So they're all going to have to sit on this carousel that looked like it was spinning pretty
Most
fast.
of them, because we have 2 medical withdrawals here.
I mean, I know you can't like ask because of HIPAA, but like I was kind of wondering why Tara and Eric didn't have to go on the carousel.
The Discord wanted to know. The Discord was like, I know, but like, why?
I know it's
why
like
though?
very invasive, but especially Tara. I was like, did Tara get like a lot of concussions or something, like as an athlete?
Then what's Eric's excuse?
I feel like Eric got a lot of concussions, like being drunk or something.
Concussions from being drunk? No, I think maybe, I don't know. Tara might have a doctor's note where it's like, these fillers are unstable. If there's centrifugal forces that get out of this range, we can't guarantee.
They're going to migrate.
We cannot guarantee what's going to happen after that. So no, that's a big no for us. We cannot medically clear her for involvement.
So I felt like this put them at a big advantage.
Huge advantage.
Because they're not getting spun all around.
Yes.
And then after you get off the carousel, you have to then run to find bags of gold.
Which are hidden in stuffed animals?
Yeah, because it's like you're at a carnival.
Yeah.
So there's like a bunch of stuffed animals and stuff, and you have to rip them open and try to find ones that actually have the bags of gold in them.
Right.
And then these bags have a different amount of money assigned to them. You have to find a bag, run back to the carousel, sit in your chair, and then wait to go again. And they're going to do this 5 times.
Yes. So there's money that's up for grabs here. And again, very huge advantage here because the whole concept, they had like a little seat that they still had to buckle into and then they would have to get up and run. But like there was nothing to offset the orientation issue that was happening for everybody else who had been spinning around excessively. You know, they didn't even like make them spin around, like put their head on a wiffle ball bat or something.
No, they didn't even have to like
blindfold
and then like spin a couple times.
Get somehow disoriented. So then that way you're kind of in the same. No, they just got to get up and run. So it seemed very skewed here as far as that level of involvement. But then the one piece of information that they're not letting you know is they're going to be removing chairs from the carousel. So as people are out running around looking for these bags of gold, when you come back, there may or may not be a seat for you to sit in to go for the next round. It's musical
chairs.
It's musical chairs mixed in here as well. But Alan didn't tell them that. So Rob is the last person back for the first round. He's out. He's not up for a shield anymore because that's the other thing. Last person standing gets a shield.
Yeah, he was really upset.
He was very upset. Well, also because Mark sat down. He was the other person who was out there looking with Rob at the end. They were the last 2 people in the group. And Mark got back and sat down in the chair with $750 while Rob is standing there with $2,500 that now he does not have a seat that he gets to sit in. So you don't get to bank $2,500 now.
Okay. So was he mad about the money?
He was mad about the money and about how Mark took the seat with $750 in hand when he was holding $2,500. So I think that was where it was like,
yeah,
oh, we didn't know that there wasn't going to be a seat.
But the money had nothing to do with winning the shield.
Not anything to do with the shield. I think that was just last person standing.
Okay, so that should have like been a huge red flag to everybody. That suddenly Rob is like really, really competitive about winning the money.
And the shield?
And a shield.
Like, he was kind of complaining about both.
But he's complaining about the money thing.
Yeah.
Of like, I had a lot more money than you.
Yeah, and he's frustrated here, so he's kind of being a little bit more vocal about it. And Mark's like, I didn't know that they were pulling a chair out. I just sat down in the chair.
Yeah.
I had the bag that I had, and I sat down.
And that makes Mark start to question Rob a little bit.
Well, Mark gets
That's
a little suspicious.
odd.
And then also Natalie's kind of sniffing out. She's like, it feels like Rob's acting. Maybe it's his stuffy nose. It just sounds a little bit off. It doesn't sound like him.
Yeah, well, he hasn't really been that upset when he hasn't won a shield so far. And he's like really, really, really pissed that he was out in the first round of this.
Right.
See, I think he messed up because he was spending a lot of time looking for a bag that was worth more money.
Maybe that was it. Yeah.
And there was a time limit to coming back.
Well, he didn't
when they
know that.
I know.
Yeah, so I think that's the issue here is like, hey, sometimes you just gotta grab what you got, get back there.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point in the games, not everything is going to be provided to you, because also that would be another red flag item here too, is that was an element of the game that Rob did not have that piece of information. Normally the faithful are playing with zero information advantage at all. So this is like the first thing that Rob's come across where he does not have an information advantage, and he flips out about it.
Uh-huh.
He's not used to that. So that was very upsetting. So I think that was another thing that could kind of call into question as far as the reaction that was presented to us here. What's going on here? What's really going on? Interesting.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting observation. So everybody else keeps playing, and we had an interesting moment with Natalie and Mora. Mora is like a little frail bird, and
she's pecking.
She cannot rip open any of the stuffed animals.
She's pecking at them. She's picking and clawing, but like
the seams are not coming open
with her nails. It's not working. Yeah, it's not happening.
So Natalie stops to help her and just tears this bear open.
Well, we've seen Natalie's arms this entire season.
It's true.
There's
time. Not a lot of Natalie we haven't seen.
Very little left to the imagination. But yeah, she is ripped. So her ripped arms are made for ripping stuffed animals is what I'm getting at here. Mm.
I do understand why she did it, because she was like, I'm hoping that, Mora seemed really closed off to any type of working relationship at the round table. So maybe if I gain a little favor with her by helping her in the challenge, that could pay off later.
I liked it. I like where her head was at and where she's paying attention for this, and I'm going to help Mora for this. So like it did come in handy in this moment, I guess, because it helped Mora advance closer to a shield as well. Mm-hmm. But it ends up with it's Mora and Eric are the last two faithfuls in the game who have to run out one last time. But again,
faithfuls.
Faithfuls.
Contestants. Rob is so happy that Eric is out here doing the most when he got eliminated right away.
Eric has the advantage. Again, he does not have to ride on the spinny carousel here for the final round. And so people were very impressed, though. Mora took off like a shot. They were like, that's the fastest I've ever seen her move for anything. But then also she's like taunting Eric, teasing him about how she's going to go get the money. And it's like, Natalie's not here anymore. She can't rip open your stuffed animal. So like,
you need to focus.
Yeah.
All of the energy that you've been able to store up from letting Natalie rip all your stuffed animals open, you need to channel into this one last one.
Like, stop with the trash talk focus and conserve your energy for ripping the head off a stuffed animal. That's instead.
Not what happens, unfortunately.
It does not happen. Yeah, she doesn't even find one. Eric finds one. He gets the shield. So he gets it locked in.
One of the traitors has a shield.
Frickin' da.
Free to murder anyone they want tonight.
There you go. That's the benefit here.
Again, worst thing that could have happened for the faithfuls at this point in the game. All right. So now they're in the cars heading back, and Rob and Mark suggest that maybe Natalie got recruited. Something seems off about her.
She hasn't been as open with me lately. She hasn't been talking.
Have you noticed that too?
Strategizing. Yeah, it's been like a little more closed off. She's hanging out with Tara and Johnny a lot. We don't know about that. We don't like that, right? Not really feeling
Change in
that.
behavior.
Interesting. Odd, though. Strange. Questionable.
I feel like she could have done a better job as a gamer, knowing that would have been very obvious to them.
Well, I mean,
even she's not even riding in the car with them. Like,
yeah. I don't know if you pick the cars or if they're assigned. I don't know. I don't know actually, but like, that's the complication of coming in to this the day after you thought you were going to be murdered, and you're like, why am I still in the game? Oh, maybe it's because one of my close friends and main alliances in this game is actually, in fact, a traitor.
Yeah.
So it's like, that is kind of the cost of that. And so to be surprised about that, because now Natalie seems pretty convinced that Rob is a traitor. She's making faces when Rob's saying things about the bone-in chicken that they're having for their meal when they get back to the castle. She's making faces behind his back, like at everything that he says. So it's just, she's very much like
annoyed,
not trusting Rob. Rob is pretty much not a faithful, definitely a traitor in this instance here. She seems pretty convinced.
So they weren't able to get Maura on board with that theory. So that means that they need to get Eric and Mark to vote with them for Rob.
That's big because it's two people that you have to convince.
Two people who've been close to Rob the whole time.
Two people who've been close to Rob. Two people
Isn't
who are
that
not.
odd? Let's look at this group now at the end. There's a lot of people who are close to Rob who are still here.
Right? Yeah. That's interesting, though.
Eric,
Maura,
Mark, Maura,
Eric,
Natalie.
That's four people right there. That's close to that. Because, interesting enough, it's like, who are the odd people out here? It's Tara and Johnny. That's who's left with, like, people who aren't cool with Rob.
Yeah.
So, like, what's your connection?
They're people who people have been suspicious of.
Yes. So it's almost like they're shielding because everybody else has been handpicked for Rob as Rob's friends.
It's unfortunately, like, incredibly obvious.
It's very blatantly obvious when you look at it like that. But then I thought, I don't know what that was. Something popped over there. I hope it's okay. I think it was the water bottle. But the interesting thing here was where it's like, there was a moment where strategies are being thrown around, and because like they're getting ready to go to the round table, and at one point we have like a switch of the like people who are trying to convince other people, because like Johnny goes and talks to Rob and Maura,
mm-hmm.
and then Johnny's like, I don't know, because they're basically like, we think it's Natalie actually, and so then Johnny's even like, well, we're kind of teamed up with Natalie right now because like she.
So that's odd because Natalie has kind of come to our side.
This
lately.
is hard. Yeah,
he doesn't say that, but he's thinking it, and he's starting to wonder, like, okay, maybe I'm wrong again. Maybe you shouldn't trust Natalie.
You guys do have like a lot of really good reasons why it could be Natalie.
Yeah.
So now I'm thinking, I made friends with a traitor again. So Johnny's like questioning himself, and then after he leaves, Rob leans over to Maura and he goes, man, we got to get Natalie out today. And then we got to go for Tara and Johnny next. And then he just walks out. And I was like, oh my God, is Maura about to clock Rob's game right here? Because why would Rob be so adamant about getting Johnny and Tara out next? Like, has he ever called those shots like that before? Is that going to be suspicious? Is that going to throw an alarm bell for Maura? No, guys. The hats are on, but nobody's home.
They did show her kind of like, it looked like for a moment that she was deep in thought, it was a passing,
fleeting,
very, very fleeting moment.
It's gone now. Yeah. So, what else was going there? What was the other?
Tara's thinking about like possibly walking this whole thing back.
Oh no, she's having doubts.
This has been her pitch from the start of the morning, but now that they're getting closer to the round table, she's getting nervous about it because
it's kind of scary.
Rob has the dagger.
I forgot.
This
I
whole
remembered.
thing is she's just realized it, even though Natalie's been
told her
tracking
this
that
morning.
the entire time.
She told her this morning and was like, hey, he definitely does because I had it and then he took it from me.
So maybe they should just hold off this round table and go for Rob the next one.
When he doesn't have the dagger, because I don't want him to vote for me with the dagger. I don't want to go against Rob.
I think she's afraid of being murdered tonight.
But that's
I know.
It's such an irrational fear because then it's like you're only adding suspicion to yourself. So you're a terrible candidate to be murdered then at that point. And if anything, that might just illuminate who's doing the murdering.
Yeah, well, and I think the other problem has been that they've historically had a very bad track record of whipping votes.
Yes, and I think they
this
did realize
vote's very close.
They learned pretty quick too, where it was like, okay, Maura's not changing her mind. Mark is on the fence and always is until we go to the round table and then he writes a name down. Mm-hmm. We can't get that guy to commit to a name ahead of time. Eric hasn't said a word all day, so I don't know. I don't think he's going to go with Rob because he's still very close with Rob. We have to assume he's going to vote with Rob. So, like, I think that was why Tara was freaking out, was she was realizing, we don't have the votes. So, like, maybe we don't even bring this up, you guys. Like, I think this might be a bad idea.
Tara and Johnny are unsure of what to do right before they walk into the round table.
It's terrifying. This is scary. Yeah. Like, this could be really, really bad. This could go bad.
The strategy that Tara is thinking about is, I'm going to maybe, like, sit back. Maybe we should not say too much tonight and just see where things go.
So that's why at the round table, she opens up the discussion by saying, I don't have much to say. I don't want to theorize anything. Would anybody else like to lead tonight's round table discussion?
Okay. She should have said that to Natalie before they walked in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because that put Natalie into, like, a defensive position with her right away.
Oh, this round table, let me tell you, this was a wild ride of a round table. Like, we've had some round tables.
From where we start to where we end up.
Holy smokes, you guys. Yeah, just for, like, where the conversation.
Maybe we were on the carousel.
Yeah, I got spun around a couple of times. I had to be medically removed for that. But, like, man, okay, the way we jumped into it here is where Rob was basically going for Natalie, and then Natalie was going for Rob, and then, well, like, Rob wasn't really defending himself, and there was just a few, like, peripheral people talking about Rob and Natalie, and then Rob's like, is anybody going to ask if I'm going to defend myself? Because I would like to speak up here and, like, actually give some reasons of what seems weird. A lot of their accusations were the same accusations with each other.
Rob towards like, Natalie and Natalie towards Rob.
Yeah, where it was like the just back and forth, like Gaslighters Olympics that was going on here a little bit.
I mean, I do think when Natalie brought up at the round table that maybe Rob's her angel traitor, her traitor angel, traitor angel.
Okay. Yeah, it works both ways, I guess.
That, you know, there has to be a reason why I'm still here. Maybe it's because of you. And also, why did Candace vote for you? That was weird.
But she said it was a throwaway vote, right, Eric? I mean, didn't she say throwaway?
We haven't, like, given that much thought since the day it happened, but now it's coming up again.
But it does fit with my theory now that it could be Rob. So I'm going to lean into that. I'm going to lean into that as hard as I possibly can.
Natalie kind of pivots that then to Tara, right? Thinking that Tara will take that and run with it because they've discussed this before. About, was that really a throwaway vote from Candace, or was that a clue? And instead, Tara is so wishy-washy about it. And I was like, I don't know. I mean, maybe it could have just been a wild card from Candace, or it could have been a strategic thing. We just don't know.
Well, that's the thing, is Natalie is basically talking about, like, earlier today, Tara had, like, strong theories about what could have been very telling moments in the game, specifically Candace's voting record. That was attributed to Candace was a traitor. She was leaving us with the clue that Rob was a traitor. Now, at the round table, she's going, well, I don't know. It could have been that, or it could have been just a random thing, because Candace's thing was she would vote for somebody and she would keep voting with them until they left the game. So she threw out Rob as a random thing, and then she voted for him again just to stay consistent, because that was part of her character that she was playing in the game.
It was like a switch flipped for Natalie, because when she realizes that Tara is not going to back her up, suddenly the whole script gets flipped for her, and she calls her out right there of, I feel like I got used today. I'm starting to think, Tara, that you used me to come to this round table and throw out this idea that it's Rob when it was really your idea in the first place. You're the one who approached me about thinking that it was Rob.
And this was where, like, Mara was piling on. She was yelling at Natalie about, like, I can't believe that you would trust Tara, of all people. You, Natalie, were the one who voted for Tara, like, multiple times in this game.
It's just really turned into Mara, like, really yelling a lot at Natalie about the whole thing and, like, how stupid that is. And why would you, like, completely switch teams and, like, trust Tara all of a sudden, who's been terrible at this game so far.
And that's why Natalie's like, you know what? I think I've made a huge mistake today, you guys. I'm not going to lie to you. And I think I got played.
And Alan's just creeping.
He's coming up. He's getting closer. And so then she's like, you know what? I think I got played. And I think I'm voting for Tara tonight. Even though I was 100% Rob all day today, I'm going for Tara now. And so everybody at the table's like, the fuck is going on? What is happening?
Yeah.
What is going on?
It's time to vote.
It's time to vote now.
With that information, that should make things really clear and simple for you tonight.
Well, we start the vote with Natalie because she voted for Tara. So she did finally end up doing something that she said she was going to do. She was on Rob all day and then had to flip to Tara here because she felt like she got played. Everybody else at the table, including Rob's dagger vote, goes for Natalie because...
Which was unnecessary
the
in the
hell?
end.
Yeah, what the hell was that? What sort of display did we just witness? This was quite a round table.
So it was 7 votes for Natalie?
Something like that. It was bad. It was a clean sweep plus a dagger. So, yeah. Honestly, though, we knew Natalie was going to get up there and say that she was a faithful, though. So, like, this doesn't play well for the faithfuls because they were all pretty much convinced if we don't get a traitor out tonight, we're screwed.
You know who it plays unbelievably well for? The Traitors.
Clearly, like, they've won the game at this point. Now it's just, are they both going to be able to finish out and split the money? Or... I mean,
there is this suspicion about Rob that could linger.
It could.
But, I mean, coming out of this, it looks like maybe Tara and Johnny are up to something again. I mean, It's not going to take much to get Mora back on that.
Well, okay, when Natalie gets up there and then she says, I'm a gamer who got played, I'm a faithful. And basically, you blew it, like Steven.
I cannot wait to see. So they release videos after the episode has aired, and we find out like who's been murdered, who's been banished, and they react to who the real traitors are. I need to see hers.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be a good one. This is going to be a good one. So, okay, like having her get up there and say, I'm a faithful. That does not look good for Tara. So then Tara's freaking out again about being murdered. Why? You are now
about being murdered.
Most suspicious.
She was begging them. I think Tara's done. This game has mentally broken her. She is emotional. She's crying.
She's begging to be removed from the game.
She's devastated that she keeps sending innocent people home.
It's a big problem.
She will never serve on a jury after this.
I hope not.
She doesn't want to either.
Yeah, this should be alarm bells for the justice system in general of how this is going on. The way that people are swayed and the way that these opinions
She's
are
like,
just
please,
all
I
over
don't
the
want to
place."
do this anymore. Please send me home.
Please, yeah. She's going with the Kate route here of just, please murder me. Murder me today. I'm so bad at this game, please.
Afterwards, they all split up into different groups. And a lot of people are coming away from the roundtable feeling like, okay, Tara may be bad at this, but she's not a traitor. That felt like genuine emotion.
Yeah, Mark is convinced. He's like, I had to console her and remind her, this is just a game, Tara. Like, calm down. And because this isn't acting. She's actually that upset. Like, Mark can read that where she's not Meryl Streep. Like walking around in the castle here. That's not what's going on. She's really having an emotional reaction and she's freaked out.
Mm-hmm. So that's like not great for the Traitors because there's not a lot of people looking at Tara now. even though Natalie was trying to leave that as her final clue that she thought that it was Tara. Eric was really quiet tonight at the round table. For everybody who spoke up and said something, this is the second night in a row that Eric hasn't said anything.
And then Mark's trying to convince himself Eric has been playing a quiet game, though. So, I mean, I could just be misinterpreting it. No, Eric has spoken up.
I think it's odd that he wouldn't speak up for Natalie.
Yeah, well, Eric has spoken up very important times at roundtables. He has been incredibly vocal when it was larger groups of people. Now that it's smaller, shouldn't he be speaking up more? Like, there's less people to compete with. If you were able to get a word in edgewise when Michael Rappaport was at the round table, you better be fucking talking now.
Yeah. Hey, that's the only evidence you needed to present.
Hello? Yeah, like, how are you explaining that you're having a tougher time communicating your thoughts and opinions now when the floor is open
that
here?
Feels like so long ago that Michael Rappaport was in this game.
Ages ago at this point. What a different world it was.
So Johnny's in another room with Maura and Tara, and Eric's name is getting floated in there too.
Not only that, Johnny, I don't know what happened here. Again, something in the water. The stars aligned this day where there was just like breakthrough. It was breakthrough moments for faithfuls because you had Tara who woke up this morning and was dead set on Rob. Natalie, who woke up this morning, was dead set on Rob. Now you have Johnny, who's just pondering to himself and questioning, maybe it's Eric and it's Rob. I think those are the two traitors. And then Maura and Tara look at him and they're like, really? Do you think that? I don't know. What the fuck do I know? You know, like, I don't know. But to clock it.
Look, I know that this is completely Delulu and that it's not going to happen. But, like, I'm kind of really hoping that Tara and Johnny pull it together and are able to take the traitors down. I know there's, like, not a chance in hell that it's going to happen. But I'm so excited that they finally have, like, honed their skills. And they've gotten to the point where they're able to identify who the traitors are.
Here's the thing. Yeah, by playing with their hearts and not their heads, it took them a long time to get here, but they did finally hit it right on the head, and now they have zero confidence to go with what is actually correct.
No confidence in, like, no one to vote with them.
No confidence and no allies. Because, like, you're telling Maura, I don't know if Maura had, like, a red flag, if that's why she was talking with Tara and Johnny, like, if the round table just seemed off, or, like, what the deal was. But I thought it was strange that Maura was going to, like, check in with them, because it almost seemed like if they grouped up, if they became a voting block of 3 in there, they could do some damage in there. But you have the blind leading the blind, 3 blind mice over here is basically what's going on.
I don't know. I think that Maura seemed really mad at the round table at Natalie, so I think that she is probably convinced that Tara could be a traitor.
Yeah, so maybe it's just she's trying to stay
close. She's trying to gather information or something.
She's just trying to stay close to them, keep an eye on them a
wanting to
little
see
bit.
what they have to say so she could report it back to everybody else. I don't know.
So it seemed like an odd group to have that pop up, but then to have Johnny be spot on, and then that's your audience to hear that.
So we go to the turret. It was an amazing day for the traitors.
It's a pat on the back.
Congratulating each other on the amazing performances, except Eric
shooting awesome shooters and just basking in each other's awesomeness.
Eric, you need to start talking more.
You're too quiet at the round table. Like, you need to say stuff, man, because you have talked at round tables in the past. People are noticing that you're not speaking up too. It's getting suspicious.
Yeah. I don't know why Rob is trying to help Eric get to the end with him.
Right? I don't get it either. I think he does. He likes him. He just likes the kid. Yeah. That's what it comes down to. But is that going to mess him up? No. You would think that Rob was like, he didn't want to split money with a housewife. I'm pretty sure. That's why he was like, yeah, they can go.
I do think that Rob wanted Eric to go a little bit further in the game. Because if they can get to the round table, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be the one next week where they stop announcing if they've gotten traitors.
I believe so.
Because that's how the game worked last season, where at a certain point they did not confirm or deny if someone was a faithful or a traitor.
Well, so this is the final murder that happens here. So this is the last murder, and I think once the last murder happens, then any banishments they don't say.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. I think that Rob wanted to get Eric at least to that round table.
Right.
Because people
and give him a fair shake.
They may be pretty convinced based on Eric's past track record at the round table and his change in demeanor.
Right.
Demeanor.
Demeter?
No, going into a Greek.
Greek philosophy.
Yeah. That he had to be the traitor and that maybe we're all good now.
Yeah. I think the complication here that they're adding into the mix is when Alan comes into the turret and he's like, hey, you guys do have to pick. It's the last murder tonight. And it's very important. But also, please know that I'm going to wake everybody up. As soon as you decide, I'm going to wake everybody up. We're going to go out in front of the castle. And then I'm going to tell everybody who you've selected for murder. And then they're going to be removed from the game immediately in front of everybody. So you guys are going to be there too. So like practice your reactions and like maybe a gasp or, you know, clutching your pearls. Well, Colton's not here to clutch his pearls.
There's no pearls left.
Yeah, there's no pearls left to clutch at this point. But just try your best, you know, like get something lined up for that. Be prepared because you're going to have to put on a little bit of a show here after.
So that's adding some pressure to the
turret
situation.
Well, now they're like maybe second guessing who they're going to pick then. Because if there's going to be a reaction in front of everybody, like, what's that going to be? I don't know.
So they talked about maybe they need to split up the skating twins.
Right.
Are obviously Tara and Johnny.
The Blades of Glory bonded pair.
Or Mark's been saying Eric's name a lot. That's not really good, but we're also close to him, so it's kind of torn there.
See, I thought where it was like Rob thought he was real tight with Mark, and I think today kind of showed not so tight.
Well, I don't think that Mark has considered himself as close to Rob as Rob has thought Mark is.
Right. Yes, because then Rob kind of found out that it was like, oh, Mark was really close with Kristen and was kind of hanging out with me just by proximity.
By proxy. Yeah.
So it's like, okie dokie. Well, that's not looking good.
Or maybe we could murder Mora because no one would look at me for that.
But Rob, that's your number one gal in the house, in the castle here. So I don't think that Mora's a good play. I don't think it is.
No, I don't think so
because
either.
I don't think that would throw people for a loop of, oh, look, it's because they're trying to add suspicion to me as like a double bluff murder that you're trying to pull a fast one to say, why would I remove my closest ally in this house?
I do think that Tara and Johnny voting together is a big problem now that the numbers have gotten to the point that they're at.
Oh, yeah. That's really dangerous.
So I would really question if it would be worth getting rid of somebody who I've considered to be, you know, part of my voting block in order to let them stay in the game.
Correct. Yeah. I think that's the bigger threat right now. But then also that doesn't look good if you're Rob and you've told Mora, here's the people that we need to go after next. And then one of those two people gets murdered. That's interesting.
Well, so we have Eric and Rob, which if they can stay in the game together, they kind of cancel out Tara and Johnny's votes.
If you think of it that way, yeah. And
but then they'll just have Mora left?
And as long
everything
as they
hinges
stay aligned,
on Mora?
As long as they stay aligned.
If they were to murder Mark.
If they were to murder
everything
Mark.
hinges on Mora.
Which that's kind of scary. Because, yeah, if she gets suspicious, then that could be bad.
I mean, that could make for a very interesting end to this game.
How do you think... Okay, so if we were talking murder, because obviously they get the choice of any faithful because Eric has the shield, so it doesn't matter. Eric will not be murdered because he's a traitor, but he also has the shield. So like, if you were going to murder Johnny or Tara, which one would you go for?
I don't think you can kill Tara right now
Right.
because she said Rob's name
Right.
and was pushing that theory.
Yeah. I think Johnny
So-
would, and Johnny would like unhinge Tara enough where she might just completely shut down after that, basically, too,
Once he's gone.
once he's gone.
Yeah.
So, like, because if you removed Tara, I think Johnny would like fight back or like try to find a traitor or like get somebody out of the game.
Tara is defeated at this point.
Tara's kind of like, she's broken down. Yeah, definitely.
And she's lost all her credibility
yes.
with the rest of the group. So I think it's either got to be Johnny or it's got to be Mark. I don't really think Mark's a great idea, but I understand that he's saying Eric's name and that he has shown himself to not be as predictable as they thought that he was.
What did you think about Maura and Rob like muttering to themselves constantly as Alan was kind of vamping for like who the murderer is? Because they're kind of just standing in front of this coffin out in front of the castle.
I didn't notice that Rob was too.
Oh, Rob was.
I know that
Rob
Maura
was. Rob was making Johnny wildly uncomfortable because he's standing right next to Johnny and he keeps saying like, it's gonna be me. It's like he's so worried about murder, like he's playing it up so much. But Johnny keeps like averting his eyes, like shifting over a little bit because you can tell he's like listening to what Rob's saying. So I don't know if that's just gonna add suspicion or if he was trying to literally get in Johnny's ear to like talk about how scared he was of being murdered so that Johnny can vouch for him or something.
I mean, I do think it's actually good for Rob that his name got brought up at this last round table because it's like, well, maybe they didn't murder me because my name just got brought up.
I'm suspicious now. Yeah.
Rather than his name never getting brought up and then he's like the faithful of faithfuls and they're not getting rid of you. They're not going to use their last murder on getting rid of Rob.
Right. Honestly, because it's like between Rob and Eric not being murdered tonight, those are the two reasons why it makes the most sense. Rob had some heat at the round table and Eric has the shield. So you guys getting into the final is like
explainable.
Totally explainable at this point. So, man, that worked out real nice. That worked out really, really well for the Traitors. But is this going to be enough? I think it depends on who they picked. But I don't think they would go for Maura. I really don't. Right? Like, that's too... They have Maura. Like, I think that's a set locked thing.
Yeah, I think the one thing you could say about her is that nobody has really suspected her of being a traitor the entire game.
So you think that might be...
Like, nobody's going to vote for Maura.
Is that going to be enough of a shift, too, though? Or, like, nobody's going to vote for Maura? I guess...
No, she's, like, convinced that she's going home. So if she doesn't, I don't know if she's going to have another Natalie moment of, like, who's been protecting me.
Yeah, she'll be questioning herself. That could be interesting.
I think it's going to be a very good finale.
Well, I guess we'll have to see. Yeah, we're left on the cliffhanger. We do not know who's been selected for murder. We did see sort of a reaction, but I mean, you can't base it off of that because
no, they edit this show
the hell
so
out of these
well.
reactions. Yeah,
the first few episodes, you could kind of get clues from the like preview for what's coming up next. Not anymore. They edit them so tight that you can't even see like who people are in challenges.
I think you saw one person flying out of a helicopter because it's like one of the big water missions that they do for like the last challenge thing. But it was probably Rob because it's like, well, he's a traitor, so obviously he wasn't murdered. So,
but that's happened in other seasons where people have been able to see when it got closer to the last episode who they think was like in a boat or something. So I think that
they were being careful.
They've gotten word of that, and
I'm telling you,
careful.
the one thing that they still don't have is like whoever walks in last at breakfast, which I think that's probably why they're doing this sort of murder, because it's just happening in front of everybody. You don't have people walking in at breakfast in a certain order of like what their consideration was now that we're close to the end.
That's a good idea.
So that might be a way that they kind of covered their tracks a little bit on this one, because that was something that always frustrated me too about the later stages of previous seasons where it's like you obviously have to know that people who are not being considered for murder are like probably traitors, guys. Like it very well could be a possibility there. But
2 episodes will drop next week.
oh yeah, we're wrapping up. It's going to be the finale, and then we have the reunion special, which it seems like Ron is ready to go like scorched earth with pretty much everybody on the cast at this point.
He said that. I thought that I heard that he then said, like, I didn't really like.
Oh, okay, probably not.
I didn't really come for anybody.
Yeah, okay. Well, that makes more sense.
I wanted to, though.
I want him to. I really wish he would.
Yeah. Are they going to have Michael Rappaport back for it?
Probably.
Will anybody else be able to talk?
It seemed like they had everybody back from the cast.
Great.
So they're all going to be there for the reunion. And, well, usually the reunions are pretty boring for the Traitors.
I was going to say, we might just...
We gloss over it at the end.
We'll spend a lot of time on the finale and then hit the highlights from the reunion episode.
Yeah, it's not going to be like a deep dive stuff because a lot of times the reunions just back and forth flying around. It's like Housewives reunions. Annie hosts it too, so it really feels like a Housewives reunion as well here. But if you like what you're hearing on the podcast, you want to hear more of it, then make sure you stay subscribed. You don't want to miss an episode. We're also recapping Suddenly Amish over here on Surviving Reality.
It's been so good.
It's so good.
You know,
there
were a lot of haters out there at the beginning.
Yes.
You had to stick with it because it's ridiculous. It's a good, I keep saying you turn your brain off for 45 minutes.
A mind melter.
You feel good at the end of it.
Yeah. It's like a warm bath for your brain.
And leave us a written review. Share the podcast with a friend.
It really helps the podcast. It gets us in front of other people. More people hear it. More people listen. More people come and watch. Join the Discord. Join the Patreon. The community grows. We're all having fun. We're making fun of these shows together. And we're having a good time. So yeah, that just gets more people into the mix. Gets more eyeballs and ear holes on the podcast.
Thanks for listening. See you next time.